Hello and welcome to the From Arthur's Seat podcast, your bi-weekly chat with some of the authors behind Volume 10. I'm your host, Sophia Holm, and today I'll be talking with Olivia Carroll. How are you, Olivia?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. First things first, let me know a little bit about your background as a writer. What track are you on in the creative writing program? Things like that.
Yeah, so I'm on the fiction track in creative writing. I typically write what I read, which is a lot of sci-fi, fantasy, long-form fiction. So not as many short stories, so this is something slightly new for me. But other than this, I've just done some things in my undergrad, a few creative writing classes, but my second major in my undergrad was English. So that was something that was more of a side fun thing for me because my primary was public relations, but I knew I loved writing in English and reading. So I came here to just kind of pursue that a little bit more and really take something that was more of a hobby and turn it into something I could do actually as a career.
What pushed you to start doing creative writing? What were your motivations?
I think it was just that felt like the most natural mode for me to get thoughts out, and it was something that I knew I relied on a lot growing up, right? I read a lot, and it was something that it helped me really understand the world better and understand myself better. And I just thought, if I could be a part of that for someone else, that would be such a cool thing to be a part of.
Moving on to From Arthur's Seat, let's get a brief explanation of your piece.
Yeah, so this piece is called The Rug. On the surface, it's about this rug that emerges from one woman, and it is passed down through all the women in her family. So it is about that idea, sweeping it under the rug. Everyone says, just sweep it under the rug, and how what might start as a coping mechanism or something that's really a survival tactic for a lot of women, especially women who were our grandparents' generation, and they had no choice really but to survive in that way, but how that is passed down through the lineage and how it gets to a point where it's no longer survival, it's just hindering the family, and you become really kind of stuck in this place, and you can't talk about the things and you can't move on from them, and how do you decide to unwind that and just face the truth and take it for face value and go forward from there. The Rug. As Mother married and began a family of her own, she finally understood. The rug came with her, a collection of their lives that was entwined with her past and carried into her future. She was grateful for the rug that night she found the messages, when her husband's anger rattled the hinges of the door she propped up. The door always stuck on the rug after that, the mess never ironing out quite right, even with his crocodile tears attempting to smooth it out. Each thread combined over years of good and bad, and maybe there was more bad than good, but what was a pinprick of light without a void of dark? Mother knew what was beneath the rug. She would never let it out, would spend her life choking down the frayed edges of the perfect image that lodged in her chest.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So, what was the creative process like for this piece?
I really wanted to take 3 different generations of women and kind of show how one had almost gotten stuck in the same cycle, and then I wanted there to be one person who's posing the question of why are we doing this. So that's kind of how I approached this, with this almost monster personification of this idea of a rug, right, where it's entwined, it's capturing these women, and they're having to choose to fight back against it. So when I was developing this story, I started just with that rug, and my initial thought was of the daughter, and so it was just, how do I get to the daughter? What came before her to get to the place where she's looking at this huge mound and just thinking, how do I even start to untangle it? And this was almost like a backwards way of her untangling it, and just acknowledging the truth of what her grandmother went through and what her mother went through. And I wanted it also to be very anonymous, so that's why their names are grandmother, mother, daughter, grandfather, because I wanted it to be very much, this could be anyone, because I do think it is a lot of people out there who do experience this, maybe not to this degree, but who might be able to look at this and recognize it either in themselves or in their mothers or in their friends or sisters.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a story that I think people, even on a micro level, could absolutely relate to. Everyone has a rug. Even if it's not to this extent, I feel like everyone has a rug. Yeah, definitely. I do think, like, this is definitely not a severe, but a extreme case of the rug. But I think, like I said, like, it needs to be for people to feel comfortable enough to then apply it to their own life and be like, well, I'm not to that extent, but maybe over here there is a little bit, and feel comfortable to explore that. So, as a writer, what are your goals? I think the biggest thing is to know that I could do it, right? I think confidence is such a huge thing in this, whether you're getting published or whether you're getting in journals or magazines or anything like that. You know, you're going to have people that come and go that say, I like this, I don't like this, whatever. But to just feel confident enough in myself and what I'm doing and saying, you know, no, I can do this. No, I do like this thing. And like I said, you know, I got feedback on this that some people were like, hey, maybe do this, maybe do that. And I was like, no, I really want it to be this, you know. But I got that confidence enough in my writing to know I can listen to others and I can definitely take in that feedback. And there have been some really helpful things that I've gotten out of this program from other people. But I think one of the best things is just being able to look at it and say, you know what, I appreciate that, but I really think I need to do it this way. And just having that confidence and believing in what you're writing and continuing to pursue that. Well, speaking of journals and publications and things like that, where can we see more of your work? Ideally, hopefully, in a couple of years, there might be a book out there. So that's the goal. That's the goal right now. But otherwise, just... it's a lot of internal stuff right now and developing things, but I'm really excited to be a part of this. I think it's such a fun thing to do with everyone, and I'm glad I could have been here and talked to you. So thank you so much for your time, Olivia. Thank you for having me. This was great. Thank you. I'm glad it was great. You can find Olivia's work, along with all of the other stories from amazing authors in the From Arthur's Seat anthology, releasing on May 9th. The pre-order link is up now in our bio. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and don't forget to check out our website at www.FromArthur'sSeat.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.